Let's talk about a big name in Nepali politics. KP Oli. Khadga Prasad Sharma Oli, or KP Oli as most people know him, is a really important figure in Nepal. He's known for being tough and a great strategist. Oli has been involved in Nepali politics for a long time, and it's complicated. He's a controversial figure. Some people really like his strong leadership, while others don't like his methods. Looking at Oli's career helps us understand how complicated Nepali politics can be. Oli's time in politics has had both good times and bad. He's been prime minister a few times and has led Nepal through some big events, like the 2015 earthquake and the COVID-19 pandemic. But he's also been accused of being too controlling and corrupt. Oli is still a major player in Nepali politics, and to understand where Nepal is going, it's important to understand his story. His life shows how powerful ambition can be, but also how delicate democracy is in a new republic. KP Oli's early life was tough, but it made him strong. Born in 1952 in the countryside of Nepal, Oli had a hard life early on. When he was just 4 years old, his mom died from smallpox. This really affected him and made him want to fight for social justice and change. When he was 18, Oli joined the Communist Party of Nepal. He liked their ideas about equality and how they opposed the king. Because of his activism, he was put in jail for 14 years, and 4 of those years were spent completely alone. But Oli didn't give up. He taught himself in prison, reading lots of books about politics, philosophy, and history. This tough time shaped how he saw the world and made him want to be involved in politics. Oli's experiences made him distrust the government and believe in his own abilities. These things would become a big part of his political career, leading to both his successes and his problems. From being a prisoner to being in parliament, Oli's rise is pretty amazing. After getting out of jail, KP Oli jumped right into politics. He quickly became an important person in the Communist Party of Nepal, Unified Marxist-Leninist, or CPN-UML. People liked him because he was charismatic and smart. In 1991, a very important year for Nepal, Oli was elected to parliament for the first time. During the 1990s, Nepal was dealing with a Maoist insurgency, and Oli became a big critic of the Maoists. He didn't like their violent tactics and wanted a peaceful solution. This made him look like a strong supporter of democracy and stability, and it made him even more important in the CPN-UML. It wasn't always easy for Oli. He had rivals in his party and people from other parties criticized him, but he was good at handling these problems and became a key figure when Nepal became a republic in 2008. Being prime minister really tested KP Oli's political skills. His first time as prime minister from 2015 to 2016 was mostly about dealing with the terrible earthquake that hit Nepal. Oli led the country's recovery and worked on a new constitution. But his time was cut short because people voted that they didn't trust him anymore. In 2018, Oli became prime minister again. His second term, which lasted until 2021, focused on building things like roads and bridges, and dealing with Nepal's neighbors, India and China. Oli seemed to favor China and got Chinese money for projects. But there were also fights within his party, and people said he was acting like a dictator. He even closed parliament twice, which caused big problems. Oli's third time as prime minister in 2021 was very short. The Supreme Court said it wasn't legal. This made people think he was hurting democracy. Then, in 2024, Oli started his term as prime minister. This time, he's leading a government made up of different parties. Right now, he's focused on keeping things stable and getting the country ready for the 2027 elections. KP Oli's dealings with other countries have caused a lot of discussion. People have said he changes who he's friends with and cares more about himself than Nepal. At first he seemed friendly with India, but that changed during his second term. He became closer to China, getting money from them for building projects. Several things caused this change, including the idea that India was getting involved in Nepal's business and China's growing power in the area. Some people say Oli's friendship with China is bad for Nepal's independence. Others think he's just doing what's best for Nepal in a world that's constantly changing. What Oli does inside Nepal has also been praised and criticized. Some people like his focus on building new things, but others have criticized how his government handled the COVID-19 pandemic, how it treated people who disagreed with him, and how it seemed to hide things.
All right, let's talk about Nepal. Beautiful country, right? Himalayas, momos, yaks wearing tiny sweaters. You know, the classics. But let's be honest, their political scene, that's a whole different kind of mountain range. One with more peaks and valleys than a roller coaster, designed by a caffeinated toddler. And at the heart of this roller coaster, KP Sharma Oli. KP Sharma Oli's political journey is nothing short of a drama series filled with comebacks, cliffhangers, and quite a few candors, scandals, that had the nation either laughing, crying, or just plain confused. He's like that friend who always has a story and you're never quite sure if they're exaggerating or if their life is just that ridiculously unbelievable. Over the next few minutes, we're diving deep into the wild world of Oli's biggest hits, analyzing the man, the myth, well, you decide. Buckle up because things are about to get interesting. Let's start with a classic tale of political promises, the Melamchi water project. For decades, the people of Kathmandu have been promised a steady supply of clean drinking water. It seemed like a pipe dream. But then Oli came along, all smiles and swagger, vowing to quench the thirst of the capital. He even set a deadline, because deadlines always make politicians look good, right? Well, the deadline came and went, and the only thing flowing faster than the Bagmati River during monsoon season were the excuses. Years turned into decades, and the Melamchi project became synonymous with delays, corruption, and the general incompetence that seems to plague large-scale projects in Nepal. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, water did flow through those pipes. But just as the people of Kathmandu dared to dream of a future free from water woes, the taps ran dry again. Turns out the solution was about as permanent as a sandcastle in a hurricane. Remember 2020? Yeah, nobody wants to relive that year, but while the rest of the world was scrambling for masks and hand sanitizer, Nepal had KP Sharma Oli at the helm, navigating the COVID-19 storm with his signature blend of, well, let's just call it unconventional wisdom. As the virus raged and hospitals overflowed, Oli took to the airwaves, not to announce lockdown measures or ramp up testing, but to offer up a healthy dose of turmeric. Yes, you heard that right. The Prime Minister of a nation grappling with a deadly pandemic was out here suggesting that hot water and a pinch of spice were the answers to all our problems. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more surreal, the corruption scandals hit. Remember those medical supplies that were supposed to help fight the pandemic? Turns out some of them might have been mysteriously diverted, ending up in the pockets of those close to the powers that be. Shocking, I know. Now, you might think that leading a country through a global pandemic would be enough drama for one lifetime. But KP Sharma Oli isn't your average politician. He's like that friend who, when faced with a minor inconvenience, decides the only logical solution is to burn the entire house down. In this case, the house was the Nepali parliament, and Oli decided to burn it down not once, but twice. That's right, folks. In the midst of a pandemic, Oli decided to dissolve parliament twice, triggering a constitutional crisis and throwing the country into chaos. His reasoning? Well, it was complicated. It involved accusations, power struggles, and enough political maneuvering to make Machiavelli blush. The move was widely condemned, with critics accusing Oli of undermining democracy and clinging to power. But hey, at least it gave everyone something else to talk about besides the whole deadly virus situation, right? Let's talk about the Millennium Challenge Corporation agreement with the United States. This is a big deal, folks. Hundreds of millions of dollars in development aid for Nepal. Sounds great, right? Well, initially Oli thought so too. He was all for it, singing its praises from the rooftops. But then something strange happened. Public opinion started to shift, with some groups raising concerns about the agreement's implications for Nepal's sovereignty, and suddenly Oli was doing his best impression of a contortionist, twisting himself into knots, trying to distance himself from the very deal he had championed just months earlier. It was a masterclass in political maneuvering, a delicate dance of doublespeak and strategic backpedaling. Was Oli genuinely concerned about the agreement's potential downsides, or was he simply reacting to the shifting political winds? You decide. Nationalism, the trusty tool in every politician's belt, ready to be whipped out and waved around whenever public approval starts to dip. And nobody knows how to play the nationalism card quite like KP Sharma Oli. Case in point, the new map incident. Picture this. Tensions with India are running high, and Oli needs a distraction, something to rally the masses and divert attention from, the whole pandemic thing. Enter the new map of Nepal, conveniently incorporating a few disputed territories claimed by India. Cue patriotic music and a surge in nationalistic fervor. Was it a bold move to assert Nepal's sovereignty, a calculated ploy to stir up nationalist sentiment, or perhaps a bit of both? Whatever the motivation, one thing's for sure, it made for great headlines. Now let's talk about the finer things in life. Luxury cars, lavish residences, helicopter rides, the kind of stuff that screams man of the people. And while many world leaders seem to have a penchant for the finer things, KP Sharma Oli's spending habits raised more than a few eyebrows. There were reports of crores spent on luxury vehicles for government officials, while the common man struggled to put food on the table. There were whispers of extravagant renovations to the Prime Minister's residence, turning it into a palace fit for a king, while hospitals crumbled and schools lacked basic resources. The optics weren't great, to say the least. It's hard to maintain the image of a humble, frugal leader when you're being chauffeured around in a gas-guzzling SUV while your people are struggling to make ends meet. Just saying. So, is he the right leader for Nepal? He's clever, he's calculative, he can play the long game, but is he wise? Oli's career shows he's less of a visionary and more of a master tactician, thriving in chaos, deflecting criticism with sarcasm and turning scandals into political stepping stones. He's a man of contradictions, a self-proclaimed communist with a taste for the finer things, a shrewd politician who often seems more interested in holding on to power than using it to enact meaningful change. He's a master storyteller, a weaver of narratives that often blur the lines between fact and fiction. So, dear citizen, is KP Sharma Oli Nepal's savior, or just another smooth-talking power player? That answer is in your hands. What do you think? Drop your comment below. Let the debate begin.